We're here in Hampton, Virginia at Langley Speedway. This is the Hampton Heat. It was a night full of precipitation and anticipation. A 4-hour-long rain delay prolonged the last 100 laps of the race, but it was well worth the wait. A tale as old as time. Petty and Pearson, Earnhardt and Gordon, Butterbean and Connor Hall. A hometown rivalry reignited, but both would fall to another champion. Tech this. Matt Waltz displayed raw, relentless determination and brought the heat to Hampton.
This is Saturday night. On tour from the 17th annual Hampton Heat at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway starts right now.
Everyone wants to be there on Sunday, but as every short tracker will tell you, there is no Sunday without Saturday night. And every week, all across the nation, late models own Saturday night. This is the ballad of the sport's backbone, its hometown, its weekly star, and its greatest racing. This is Saturday night. This is On Tour. Welcome back to On Tour. My name is Buddy Pulley. I head up the late model coverage here on ATYL Media. This past Saturday night, Larry King Law's Langley Speedway hosted race 2 of the Virginia Triple Crown. It was, of course, the Hampton Heat. An emphasis on heat because it was hot. There were 2 storylines that carried over from race 1 at South Boston. Connor Hall, after his win in the Harley-Davidson 200, looked to solidify himself as the favorite to win his first Triple Crown title. And Matt Waltz, after his disqualification at South Boston, he's searching for redemption. And spoiler alert, both those storylines will be very relevant in Saturday night's race. And aside from the Triple Crown, it was also the homecoming for Butterbean Queen. The Langley track champion did us the honor of lighting the ceremonial torch, as if it wasn't hot enough, kicking off the night, and a night where he would battle his old hometown rival Connor Hall. And as you heard in the intro, they would have to play second and third fiddle to Matt Waltz, who after 11 tries finally scored the victory in Langley's Crown Jewel event. We'll cover both those stories and more here in just a little bit, but first, let's take a look at the results from Hampton Heat. Taking a look at the results from the Hampton Heat 200 at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway, it was of course Matt Waltz scoring the victory in dominating fashion over Connor Hall, who takes a commanding lead in the Triple Crown standings. Butterbean Queen, in his return to Lee Podium performance, he finishes in the 3rd position. Woody Howard becomes one of only 3 drivers to score a top 10 finish in each of the first 2 Triple Crown races. Cade Brown rounds out our top 5, and we talked to Cade after the race about his night and being in the thick of the Cars Tour and Triple Crown championship fight.
I felt like long run car, we were great. I really think after a restart I would lose some ground and then we have to gain it back, but I thought race car was great. As soon as the 88 got by me, it really pissed the rear tires off, and it took me a while to get them calm back down. And after that, once we were single file, I felt last 20 to 25, I thought the race car was great. I feel like that's some of the things I fought, or some of the things you're naturally going to fight here on lap 200 on one set of tires. But I think RNS race cars brought an amazing piece, and some one piece, and we'll bring it to Hickory. We'll let the points take care of themselves. We're very fortunate that we're in a points battle with Triple Crown and the Cars Tour. So, like I said, we're going to keep trying to get better and better each week and knock off some wins and come out on top.
Carson Lofton finishes 6th. Peyton Sellers from the pole. He would have to settle for a 7th spot. Ronnie Bassett Jr. in 8th. Trevor Ward in 9th. And Brandon Pierce charges from the rear to round out our top 10. Some other notables, 3 drivers that finish in the top 5 at Sobo would finish outside the top 10 at Langley. Darren Krantz Jr. in 13th, Ryan Millington in 15th, and Parker Eatman in 18th. Atlee Weiss battling at the front of the field. When a tire went down, he would have to settle for 22nd, and a similar fate for Aiden Millette. He was also battling at the front of the field with Weiss, but would suffer a mechanical failure. He finishes 32nd. And the heartbreak of the night, Sam Yarborough leading as we neared the halfway break, but after reporting smoke in the cockpit, he said, quote, "The chassis just dropped," and he would be out of the race, finishing 36th. It was a demoralizing end to the South Boston 200 for Matt Waltz. He was disqualified from his second place finishing position, effectively removing him from title contention in the Virginia Triple Crown. So it's safe to say, coming into Langley, the 2017 track champion had a score to settle, and he did just that with conviction. It was his first win in Langley's Crown Jewel event, his first win in any Virginia Triple Crown race for that matter. He delivered us a model celebration, sending a smoke show into the wee hours of the Hampton morning, and when we talked to him after the race, he exuded relief, excitement, and after South Boston, FU energy. Here is your 2025 Hampton Heat champion, Matt Waltz.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's a Hampton Heat. So the big race here at Langley, and, I think I said it's the 11th try or so. So it was a long night tonight, and I was doing rain dance at the halfway leading the race. But, I'm more happy now to, win it that way. I knew we had a great race car. I knew we were going to be good the second half. But, just can't say enough about the guys that, we were a little tight in the first half and came in and made some really good adjustments, and the car was really good for the second half. So just happy we were able to bring it home.
What does it mean to you to just come back and just prove everybody wrong?
Yeah, that's right. It's just for all the naysayers and everybody talking crap, So just proved them wrong, and South Boston, it was such a shame that they're going to take that hillbilly jig that they got there and, use that to throw us out. But I know they got it here tonight. But, it's not a really good way to check what's going on, and the tolerances are super tight. A lot of other people, I know the car store has a good way of checking it, and NASCAR needs to do something and have a better way of checking it. They leave it at the track's discretion, and dumb stuff happens like that. So, and I just proved them wrong, or proved myself right here tonight. So, the 2 degrees, or not 2 degrees, 0.2 of a degree of rear camber at South Boston didn't make that race car that fast. Proved it here tonight.
Hillbilly jig. That's an all-timer right there. He may have dominated the night, but it quite literally wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. The first half of the race was the classic late model stock game of, do I hold track position and set the pace, or do I lay in the weeds, save tires, and pray? Well, that all changed when the threat of weather entered the chat, and frontrunners like Waltz had to go, because at halfway, this race was official. So on lap 96, Waltz powered around Atlee Weiss and was the leader at lap 100 when the bottom finally fell out and rain looked to end the race.
4 hours later.
After a valiant effort from the track, the race resumed just past midnight, and where the two strategies came into question. Did Waltz burn up his stuff in anticipation of the race ending at lap 100, and were Connor Hall and Butterbean in the catbird seat after saving their tires? Connor Hall and Butterbean would mount a charge late, but the track position and steady pace Matt Waltz had would ensure himself the victory. So it made us all wonder, was the weather delay and changing track conditions the culprit for the 03 and the 88's inability to get to the 2? Well, when I asked them, we got two opposing answers.
The track got really green last night with that big storm, and we only got about an hour of practice today, so I don't think it was like a huge swing from a green racetrack to like when we qualified and all. So I just think it kind of hit the reset button a little bit. But luckily for us, I don't think Langley like swings a ton throughout the night. I think kind of whatever you start the race with is going to be is what it is. So I don't think the track state changed too much.
Yeah, it changed a bunch for us. I felt like before the break I felt like a car that could go up there and get the lead and not have any issues. But after the rain, I just went from turning good and having drive to tight and made me burn the right rear up, and just didn't have enough there. So couldn't use the apron like I was the first half.
It wasn't the win Connor Hall was hoping for, but after the first two races, he boasts a 1.5 average finish, which is leaps and bounds ahead of the competition, ensuring that a solid night in Martinsville would make him the 2025 Triple Crown champion. So I asked Connor after the race, if it wasn't the weather, what would it have taken for you to go 2 for 2, and what is the pressure heading into Martinsville?
I kind of got boxed in the first 100 and kind of was forced to ride, not a lot, but just I would have liked to have probably been around 5th to 7th at the halfway break instead of 12th. So just boxed in with nowhere to go in the traffic jam the first 100, and then by the time we got to second, he was a couple seconds ahead. So to be able to reel it that close, obviously we had a really good car, just kind of a circumstance deal, but I thought we played the race really well. I'm glad we stuck it all out, and we got our full 200 laps, and great event by Langley Speedway. I love coming home to run this race, and I guess for the 5th time I'm gonna say we'll be one spot better next year, but it definitely doesn't get any easier. I feel great. Average of 1.5 is pretty good. I wish it was an average of 1, but just very thankful thankful for the good runs, because not every week, our luck goes our way, or, we have something that derails a good run, like Ace, something as simple as running something over and blowing a tire while leading. So, love taking the good ones along with the bad ones, and just thankful for the opportunity to drive Dale Kelly and LW's car, and to be able to work with my crew chief Brian Schaefer and all of my junior motorsports guys. So, just a complete honor to represent junior motorsports, Johnny Morris, and Bass Pro Shops.
So as Connor Hall sets out to win the Triple Crown, his old rival Butterbean has been dominating ARCA, winning 4 races at Daytona, Kansas, Michigan, and leading every lap of Dover the night before he would return home to late model stock racing. Brendan Butterbean Queen established himself as one of the legends of late model stock racing, winning countless crown jewel events, 3 track championships at Langley, and last year's Cars Tour title. So it begs the question, how did his time in late model stock racing prepare himself for his domination in ARCA? And after the standing ovation he received in driver intro Saturday night, what does it mean to be bringing Bean Nation along with him?
Yeah, it's super tough. I mean, you can't run mile and a halves and learn air and all that in late models, and we got to go beat the Gibbs car and the Venturini cars and Toyotas and all that every week in ARCA, so that makes it tough on us. But man, late model stock is alive and well, and these guys are for real, and I think that's why I always want to come do it, because this is what I did my whole life, and I know how hard it was to win in this series, and you want to beat the best, and I always want to challenge myself and show I can come back and still do it. I know I hear the ARCA rumors of, you're not beating people like you did in the Cars Tour and stuff, but it's a different type of racing, right? But I'd lie to you if I said I don't love coming to run the late models. So if it'll ever work out and I have the funding and Lee has a spot, obviously I'd love to go race. But just as of now, no plans. But I'm always open to it. Yeah, it's just special to see the support. I mean, there's so many fans here that have rooted for me before I was winning any races. So to feel the love and know they're behind me on what I'm trying to do with my career, and it's just special. You never know how the fans are gonna like you or not, and to know you're kind of loved around here is cool. So I always enjoy coming back and getting them riled up.
On top of his success in ARCA, Butterbean is getting the opportunity to drive a truck for Spire Motorsports this weekend at IRP. It's hard to believe just a handful of years ago, Butterbean's racing dreams didn't exceed the walls of Langley Speedway. But you heard him mention one Lee Pulliam. Lee is one of the most prolific short track racers in history. And at the end of the 2022 season, he tapped Butterbean Queen to drive his race car. Together, they had tremendous success, accomplished dreams that they thought were unthinkable, and formed a bond that will last forever. Here's a very proud Lee Pulliam on the success of his protege, Butterbean Queen.
Man, I tell you, dude, I love watching everybody that I've helped move up the ladder, and that boy has definitely got some talent. I mean, he is so humble and so appreciative. And I think that's what makes it even more special for me. Like, he's like a part of my family, and calls or texts me pretty much every day. So it's really, really special when I see him park that thing at Victory Lane.
One can only hope we'll see Butterbean Queen back behind the wheel of a Lee Pulliam Performance 03 in the near future. That's going to do it for this episode of On Tour. The next episode will follow the most anticipated Saturday night in Cars Tour history. Hickory Motor Speedway, August 2nd, 50 grand will be on the line, so follow us at ATYL Media and at the Buddy Pulley for all at the track coverage from Hickory. As always, support your local short tracks, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Right.